What up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. If this is your first time here on the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Definitely check out some of my other videos, and if you like what you see, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I consider myself to be a laid back person, right? I'm super chill, and I like to think of things in like a positive light. I like to see the good in things. I'm optimistic, like I'm a glass half full type of sis, if you know what I mean. One of the main reasons why I love playing video games is to unwind. It gives me this sense of escapism of sorts. And also, of course, you got your entertainment purposes there, right? But regardless of how positive I think I am and how chill I am, there's still are some things, and not only in real life, but in gaming, that kind of grind my gears. They kind of get under my skin a little bit. We all have pet peeves, right? So today I'm going to talk about my top 5 pet peeves in video games. Now, these are either aspects of a game or video game mechanics that just totally grind my gears. They annoy me to all hell. They irritate me. Let's get into it. All right, so my number 5 pet peeve in video games is definitely a functionless map. When I'm saying the map has no function, I'm not talking about a multiplayer map, right? A map for a multiplayer game. I'm talking about a single player game that has a map. Maps are super important in games like open world games, Metroidvanias, and if the map isn't mapping, that leads to a whole lot of frustration for me. Recently, I've been playing Stellar Blade, making my way through that game, and I'm enjoying it. But the least thing that I like about that game is definitely the map. I've been streaming the game, and the amount of times that I've had to, stop the game to go into the map and zoom in and try to find where I want to go, even if I've pinpointed a location, I still have trouble getting to that location because stuff seems to always be in the way. There's always a barrier, something's always blocking my path. I can never find where I need to go, and that's just straight up annoying. It's also irritating when a map doesn't have good depth, right? So for instance, again, in Stellar Blade, I have a location pinned and I'm literally at that location, but it's higher up on the map. And it doesn't show me that it's higher up on the map. So I'm running around trying to find where it is that I need to be. What? Another example of this is a game that I recently completed. It's called Super Epic, The Entertainment War. I believe that's what it's called. And it's a Metroidvania. I played it on my Nintendo Switch. And again, Metroidvania, you need that map, right? The map was just terrible. The game there's elevators on certain parts of the map. And me just trying to figure out, you would think that would be easy to figure out. For me, it gave me trouble. Like I was all over that map trying to figure out how to get to certain parts of it just because of the elevators. And I feel like the map just didn't depict the entire environment well enough for me to understand. So yeah, definitely a pet peeve of mine. I need the map to map in order for me to be successful in these open world games and Metroidvanias. My number 4 pet peeve in video games has to be limited inventory space and over encumbrance. I'm lumping those two together. Limited inventory space has always been an issue for me. I'm an item hoarder in video games, guys. I will pick up everything that I see, okay? I like to do that. I feel in my head that I need everything that's out there in the world. I'm that chick that's going to go and play a video game and pick up everything that I could possibly pick up. I'm always going to have the maximum amount of potions, whatever random thing that's in the middle of the field, I'm going to pick it up. You know why? Because I might need it later. Stuff is just going to be maxed out, and that works in some video games. I just beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and a lot of the items that you find out in the environment, in the world, I picked those up and I was at max capacity, 99, okay? 99 out of 99. Picked up everything that I possibly could. And then I'd go into the menu and craft items and all that other type of stuff. But man, It stinks when you want to pick up an item and you can't because it's maxed out. It's even worse when we're talking about like inventory space as far as, let's say, a game like Resident Evil, right? We all know you have that backpack and you have a limited amount of items that you can carry with you. Not to mention the fact that, weapons take up a majority of that space. Of course, you can get backpack expansions and all that stuff, but man, oh man, that irritates me so much because I want to be able to grab all the weapons, grab all the ammo. You never know if I'm going to need more ammo down the line, right? It turns out that I always will, but you never know. I need to grab everything. I've been playing Fallout New Vegas and I can't even tell you the amount of times that I've experienced over encumbrance, right? That is just so irritating. It's irritating. I understand there having to be a limit. I get it, right? I understand. But the over encumbrance is just a thing that I feel like video games should get rid of. It's so annoying. Now, over the years, I've been better at managing my items in video games, right? It doesn't hurt as much when I have to drop an item that I think that I might need later on down the line, or discard it or toss it, whatever the case may be. It doesn't bother me as much, but it still bothers me. My number 3 pet peeve in video games are underwater levels. I almost want to say, why are underwater levels a thing? Why is that a thing? I get it, but I don't. They're so frustrating. And that's partly because, and again, like I said, I get it, but it's partly because the controls don't work as smoothly as they did when you're not underwater. Now, this doesn't apply for all video games, right? Now, if it's a game that's strictly all underwater, that's fine. I can deal with that, right? But when you have a game, let's say a platformer, and you're bopping around, on ground, and then they want to spice things up and throw you underwater, my goodness, grinds my gears. And I'll say it even applies to games that I love. Super Mario Brothers 3. Those underwater levels are they're my least favorite levels in the game. They honestly are. I don't like them at all. I will say that visually underwater levels look great. I think they're beautiful. But overall, when it comes to like the gameplay mechanics and controlling a character while underwater, it's not for me. I don't like it. Don't do it. Don't do it. How about that? Number 2. All right. My second pet peeve in video games are definitely games that do not, and I repeat, games that do not respect your time. Now, this didn't used to be a thing for me, but I feel like now that I'm older, and my time is limited when it comes to games, the amount of time that I spend throughout a day playing a video game, I don't want to play a video game that's not going to respect my time. And I say that respectfully, For instance, an example, Stellar Blade, which I already spoke about. But Stellar Blade, since I'm playing it, I will say that they do a good job of respecting my time. One thing that I really do appreciate in that game is the fact that you're out and about in the environment and you'll come across either a locked door or a locked chest, right? And of course, you need a password to open up the chest. Now, I saw the password, I don't know, a couple of minutes ago on a wall or something. It's something that I read, a document that I picked up. Stellar Blade does a great job of respecting my time by knowing that I saw whatever it was, the passcode for that door or for the chest. And when I go to input the passcode, it gives you a hint and shows you exactly what the passcode is. Now, it only does that if you've seen the passcode. If you haven't seen the passcode, it doesn't have a hint to give you, right? But it basically tells you the passcode so you can input it. I love that. That's a great example of respecting my time, because I'm going to be honest with you. If I saw that passcode and the game didn't remember or know that I saw that passcode, and I could say that passcode 5 times, by the time I get to that door, I've already forgotten it. Another example of a game that respects your time is something, for example, like a farming game, like Fae Farm, right? One thing that I love about Fae Farm, what I love about it is the fact that it respects your time by showing you where all of the villagers are. All of the NPCs are on the map. You can go into the map and it'll show the little face icons of each of the villagers or the NPCs. and you could just click on it. I can't remember if it instantly takes you to them, but at least you know the vicinity in which they're in. I love that. I think Disney Dreamlight, actually, no, I know Disney Dreamlight Valley does that as well. It shows an icon where all of the characters are, so you know where to go. You know where they are. I also don't want a game to be too chatty. Now, it depends on if the writing's good or not, and if the character has personality. But, most of the time I feel obligated, like I have to read all the chatter. But again, that fades away quickly. And then I just start skipping through the dialogue because at the end of the day, I don't even really care. They're not respecting my time. My number one pet peeve in video games, you guys should already know this. If you've been watching the channel for a while now, you should know that I cannot stand time constraints in video games. I just cannot stand it. Now, I don't mind video games that have time limits for each level. Okay, that's fine. As long as there's a considerable amount of time, I'm okay with that. For instance, the old school Mario games. Let's take a game like Super Mario Brothers 3. All of those games have like time limits on them. They have timers. I'm okay with that. You got to get to the flag before the end of the timer. Fine with it. I'm even fine with a game that has a day-night cycle, something like Stardew Valley, right? You wake up in the morning, you got to go to sleep by a certain time or else you're going to pass out. I'm all right with that. But when it comes to games that want me to complete the entire game within a certain amount of time, in game time, that stresses me out. That stresses me out because I'm one when it comes to video games, and I already told you this, I like going throughout each and every area that I can in a video game, trying to look through every nook and cranny, trying to see what I can find, right? And the fact that a game doesn't allow me to explore the environment like that, it's a little annoying. Actually, it's a lot annoying. It puts a lot of stress on me for some strange reason. I just get anxious. For instance, a game like Majora's Mask. I really want to play Majora's Mask. I've heard amazing things about it, and I will get around to playing Majora's Mask. But I have this block in my head like, wow, I have to complete this game. I really can't explore it's a Zelda game. I want to explore. I really can't explore like I want to because, time is restricted. That's crazy. Another example of this is definitely Pikmin 1 and 2. I want to play those games so bad because I loved Pikmin 4 so much. That game was fantastic. I had such a fun time with it. But Pikmin 1 and 2 have those restraints on them when it comes to time. You gotta make sure the objective is complete within a certain amount of game days, and it's just like, why? All that added stress kind of takes away from the fact of me initially wanting to play video games to begin with, right? To kind of unwind, and I feel like adding that gameplay mechanic on or aspect of the game contradicts itself. So yeah, guys, those are my top 5 pet peeves in video games. Let me know in the comment box below your top 5 pet peeves in video games. I'd love to know what annoys you, what grinds your gears in these video games. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll check you next time. Peace.